Most people don't realize this until it hurts them deeply. You don't notice it at first. It starts small. A favor here, a favor there. You tell yourself you're just being kind, helpful, understanding. But one day you feel tired, drained, and a strange thought hits you. Why do people only come to me when they need something? If that feeling sounds familiar, stay with me. Because today we're talking about why people keep using you and the one inner shift that makes it stop. Let me tell you a simple story. There was a man everyone liked, not because he was loud, not because he was powerful, but because he was always available. If someone needed help, he was there. If someone needed money, he tried to manage it. If someone needed emotional support at 2 a.m., he picked up the phone. People called him a good guy, a kind soul, a real friend. But here's what they didn't see. At night, when the phone was silent, he felt invisible. When he needed help, people were busy. When he said no just once, faces changed. Voices got colder. That was the moment he realized something painful. People didn't respect him for his kindness. They depended on it, and dependence is not respect. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes uncomfortable, but powerful. Stoicism teaches something most people misunderstand. Being kind does not mean being available. Being calm does not mean being weak. And being good does not mean being used. People use you for one simple reason. You make it easy, not because you're stupid, not because you deserve it, but because human nature follows incentives. If someone learns that you will always say yes, they stop asking politely. If someone learns that you will always listen, they stop caring about your time. If someone learns there are no consequences, they take more. This isn't evil, it's instinct. And Stoicism never tells you to hate people for this. It tells you to understand it. The first hard truth is this. People don't use the strongest person in the room. They use the most accessible one. Think about it. Who gets asked for extra work? The person who never says no. Who gets dumped with emotional baggage? The person who never sets limits. Stoics believed that if you don't govern your boundaries, someone else will. And this leads to the first shift you must make. You must stop explaining yourself. Most people who get used talk too much. They explain why they're tired, why they can't help, why they feel overwhelmed, and every explanation sounds like an invitation to negotiate. Can you help me? I'm really busy, but maybe later. Okay, what about tonight? You see what happens? The Stoic response is calm and simple. No, I can't. No story, no apology, no defense. At first, this feels wrong, even scary, because you're used to being liked for your availability. But here's the truth. The moment you stop over-explaining, people start taking your words seriously. The second shift is understanding your value. You may think people use you because you're kind, but often they use you because you don't value your own time. Stoics believed time is the only real currency. Money can be earned again. Energy can be restored. Time never returns. When you give your time freely to everyone, you send a silent message. My time is cheap, and people treat it that way. The moment you start protecting your time, something strange happens. People become more respectful. Not kinder, not warmer, but more careful. They think before they ask. They plan instead of assuming. That's not coldness, that's respect. The third shift is learning to be comfortable with disappointment. This is where most people fail. When you stop being useful, some people will pull away, some will act hurt, some will accuse you of changing. And they're right, you did change. But Stoicism teaches this clearly. If someone only values you for what you provide, they never valued you at all. Their disappointment is not your responsibility. You are not here to manage other people's expectations at the cost of your peace. The Stoics believed inner peace comes from aligning actions with values, not from keeping everyone comfortable. The fourth shift is silence. Not emotional silence, not cold silence, but strategic silence. When you stop reacting immediately, when you don't rush to reply, when you pause, people feel it. Silence creates weight. It creates presence. It signals that your attention is not automatic. Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that restraint is power. You don't need to announce boundaries loudly. You enforce them quietly. The fifth shift is detachment. This is where the real freedom begins. You must detach from being needed. Being needed feels good. It gives you identity, purpose, validation, but it also makes you controllable. The Stoic chooses to be self-sufficient first. Not emotionally distant, not selfish, just grounded. When you no longer need approval, you stop being easy to use. And finally, the most important shift of all, you must accept that not everyone deserves access to you. This is not arrogance. This is wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your life becomes what you give your attention to. If you give it to everyone, you belong to no one, including yourself. People will continue to use you until you decide that your inner peace matters more than their convenience. And here's the irony. When you stop trying to be useful to everyone, you become valuable. When you stop chasing acceptance, you command respect. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally chose yourself. If this message hit you, if you felt drained, invisible, or taken for granted, let me know in the comments. Like this video if you're ready to stop being used. Subscribe if you want more calm, grounded wisdom that actually works in the modern world.